How is it going, everyone? JiraiyaGaming here. Welcome back to another episode of my Jiraiya's Topic Wednesdays. This week I have a very, I guess you could say, controversial topic that I wanted to talk about and just kind of give my thoughts and opinion on it and hear you guys' thoughts and opinion as well. Now, I'm a bit late with this issue that I'm going to be talking about as well, but I wanted time to kind of see the different things that came up before I jump on the bandwagon with certain people and start talking about certain things. I already made up my mind and conclusion to what may have led to certain things, but then sometime again, there's still not, still there still wasn't any facts, facts to back up certain things I was even thinking until later after this incident happened. Now, you guys know that a couple weeks ago on a Saturday night, a lot of people woke up, myself, because I went out that night, came home, getting phone calls, and found out that, of course, 49 people were actually 50 people is what the article says, especially when the news article was sent to my phone, that 50 people were killed in Orlando. Now, keep in mind, I have family there, and they were saying it was at a nightclub and so forth, etc. So my immediate thought was, I called my mom, my brother. We're trying to get a hold of family members, trying to make sure everybody's good, trying to see what's going on, if they're hurt or anything, and trying to figure out what's going on. Now, the first thought that popped in my head too as well was, damn, another gang-related shooting, because they've had a couple of this have happened before where they have dispute and people open up fire and shooting. So I'm thinking it was maybe on the the grounds of the property and so forth, not necessarily in the club, or it may have started in the club and spill outside and so forth, etc. These are the thoughts that are going through my head without knowing, of course, the full details. So with that said, I spoke to my mom. She called and spoke to my cousins and so forth, etc., and got a hold of her sister as well, to find out about my other cousins as well. I text some of my other uncles and stuff, and my father's side, because my dad's side of family lives there, and the same for my mom's side of family as well. So, and we have a huge family, so it goes both ways. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to contact her and make sure that everything was good, which is pretty late at night too as well, basically almost early in the morning, Sunday morning. Now, with that said, she then called me back and found out, and she said, well, everyone so far is fine. Did you find out anything about you guys' family from your dad's side and so forth, etc.? I said, yeah, people texting back and everything was good, especially my cousins and so forth that I know lives in the Orlando area and so forth. I have cousins that live in Florida that will sometimes go to Orlando to party and so forth as well, different clubs and so forth, etc. Just like they will go to Miami and from Fort Lauderdale and of course South Beach and so forth and party as well. So we're trying to make sure everybody was good. But then she said, well, what I also found out was that the club was actually a gay club too as well, that everything took place, and everything took place actually inside the club. I said, okay, you know what, let me go and go and search and see what's going on. And to watching CNN and so forth and starting to find out certain things that's coming out, find out that indeed it was a gay club, and it wasn't 50 people that was killed. It was 50 people with the gunman himself that made it, of course, 50 people, but it was 49 people that got killed. Nevertheless, still 49 people that lost their life. And of course, those 49 people were in fact confirmed to be gay. Now you can see not necessarily the coinage on TV as well, but you can definitely see people running with people and people are blooded up and so forth, etc. There's been videos where people were just unlucky to be taking selfies or Snapchatting and so forth of their lost moments, which is really terrifying to really witness, especially if you're that person's family member. And even not being a family member, just watching those videos, it really is gripping, just knowing that person died right after that happened, or during them taking a selfie, or of course Snapchatting, or even there are even people who have calls while they're being killed, texting their last words while they're being shot and killed and so forth. So it was very disturbing, to say the least, and this person definitely made it an effort to try and inflict as much damage as possible. Now, digging into this and researching as well, obviously we found that this guy is from Arabic background or Palestinian background, if I'm not mistaken, but he was actually born here in America, so he's indeed American. He's also been investigated a couple of times as well, as possibly having relations with terrorists and so forth, etc. So it makes you stop and wonder if the guy's been interrogated or under investigation, so to speak. If he's still walking around, then most likely it probably couldn't find anything on him to actually confirm that he was. But at the same time, certain things that he did should have raised certain red flags as well, in my opinion. For example, there also was a store where you can go and buy body armors and so forth, etc., which he was trying to get, which we heard, of course, later that they denied selling him that. And not only they denied that, but they also notified the local police, and I believe they also did notify the FBI as well. And nothing ever happened. A red flag wasn't tossed out in the field to, hey, you know what, let's put this guy back on the investigation, especially since we've investigated him a few times already. This may be a red flag. Maybe if they went and investigated, then they probably would have saw that he also went and bought IPOR rifles and so forth that he was able to get. This also goes into, of course, the whole thing of why we need to monitor people better when we have information on them possible being, even if it's gangs as well, but in terrorist squads or activities, or going overseas and practicing and training and so forth, etc. Because it's a danger to people here that live in America, even if this person is American or not. And one of the things that a lot of people won't tell you is that majority of the attacks that we've had here in America has been from homegrown terrorists, even guys that go overseas. They are born here, go overseas, and want to fight with Al Qaeda, and I'm not going to say that a name, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. That's a proven fact. Most of those guys that have committed these terrorist attacks here in America have been homegrown Americans. They were born here. So apart from a few 9/11 and so forth as well, but a majority so far has been pretty much people that were born here in America. So it's very terrifying, and something definitely for food for thought to think about. Maybe the way we are going about it, or not we, but maybe the way the FBI and CIA and so forth is going about it, they need to step their game up. Looking into things a little more detailed, because maybe they missed a few things while they were checking this guy out. And obviously they checked him out a couple of times and still miss that this guy has issues or ties to wherever. I mean, this guy did call the news station, the police department, I believe it was, not the news station, and confirmed that he was working with ISIS, so to speak. Again, I'll try not to say their name again. Obviously I'm skipping over saying his name too as well, to give him any credit, so to speak. But we also found out lately too as well that he has a lover that came out and said that, of course, they've been seeing each other and he was his secret lover as well, which is something I felt, because once I saw this, I felt like it was a crime of passion, so to speak, almost like and forgive me guys to get vivid, but almost like a woman picking up a gun and going and find her husband cheating and decides she's going to shoot him and kill him, and instead of shooting him once in the head, she may shoot him 20 times or whatever, because she's upset and this is someone she loves, and it's a crime of passion. Or she may stab this guy 100 and some times, where you don't need to stab somebody that much time to kill him, if you get my point. It's kind of the same scenario here, only that he just went and he just created mass casualties, in my opinion. At one point, some of the guys that were being interviewed, people that was there that escaped with their life, actually said that they got let off the hook, especially those African Americans. I guess once he found out that they were African Americans, he told them, hey, I have no problems with African American. The shooting that happened in in the black church where 9 people got killed, don't want to talk about that too much as well either, giving that gentleman any credit. I'll limit that as well, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. I didn't approve of that. You guys are suffering enough already, being here in America, which is what he was saying. So he wasn't trying to kill the black people, which then he stopped shooting into a stall or bathroom, into the stalls of the bathroom where people were, because I guess he realized there was black people in there. So that in itself was a bit crazy too as well, that he was so aware of, all of that. Made you wonder if he's been thinking about this a while, what's been going on. Maybe his lover hurt him. Maybe he was talking to someone there that did something to him. These are the things that are going through my mind. But nevertheless, things are slowly coming out, just gonna show that maybe this is a little bit more than what people are thinking. Everybody wants to label this as being terrorism. I think it's maybe a hate crime, in my opinion, versus saying it's outright terrorism. Even though this guy came out and said that he's pledging his allegiance to ISIS, I think it's something he did in the spirit of the moment. But then again, I could be wrong. Just pinpointing my, of course, own opinion on it. That's one of the reasons why I'd love to get you guys' thoughts and opinion on what you guys think. I could definitely be wrong. Obviously, this guy is dead, so we may never know the truth, so to speak. So all we can do is speculate, and obviously some stuff is concrete, but there's times where people say things that they said just to throw people off, compared to what they were already doing, especially where they're religious themselves is very, even in debt, can be damaging to them, not just their family. So maybe where he didn't want anyone to think he was gay, and so he didn't want to bring it up, saying that that's the reason why he was doing it. But here we have someone coming out saying that he was indeed this guy's lover, which is something I suspected, to be honest, like I stated before, once I heard of this happening. Now, the thing that I thought was fascinating as well is we had a pastor that came out and was actually condoning this guy going and killing these people. And some of the words that he was using was absolutely outrageous. I'll try to link that video if I can find it again in the description so you guys can see if you guys haven't seen it already. And my thoughts were just like, this is a man that's supposed to be a man of God, and we all know that all judgment is reserved for God, especially if that's who you believe in, that's your God, whether it's Allah or Buddha or whoever. That's for them to judge, not necessarily for us as human individual to be judging. And here we are, have a pastor judging these people and passing judgment, saying what happened was befitting for the lifestyle they were living. And they were cut down because of the pedophile they are. You can see even on Twitter, Facebook, and even here on YouTube, the comment that people posting there, these Fs are, I don't want to say that word, but you guys know what I'm talking about, are got what they deserve. They should be wiped off the planet, and of course, congratulating the guy from doing these things. I just thought it was very, very painful to hear some of these things, even though myself, I don't condone people going to do that. You guys know my stance when it comes to gays and people being wanting to be gay and be with the same sex. I was brought up in a Christian back home and so forth, etc. So I don't believe in that stuff, but at the same time, I feel like as long as you're not bringing it to me, I don't have a problem with it. You do what you do. It's not for me to pass judgment. That's what you feel you want to do, that's what you want to do. And I honestly feel like that's the way it should be. No one should be passing judgment and feel like you can tell people how to live their life. And everyone wants to talk about freedom of speech and freedom to do whatever the fuck you want to do. But as long as it infringes on your freedom or what you believe, then people tend to get that mixed up, in my opinion, which I think is something that people need to really look into themselves. Because, just like people talk about we have the right to own a gun, well, these people didn't have the right to date whoever the fuck they want without you getting upset about it. But people don't necessarily see it that way. They always see one side when it pertains to their own issue and not other people's issue. Nevertheless, wanted to get you guys' thoughts and opinion. Do some of you guys agree with the pastor, agree with some of these comments that people are making on these videos and so forth? Let me know your thoughts and opinion. I'd love to hear them. This video is a bit longer. I'm not going to go any longer than I need to, but I'd love to hear what you guys' thoughts are on this. Do you guys agree with me that it may not be outright a terrorist attack, but more of a hate crime, so to speak, in my opinion? Maybe a mixture of both. It's just a crazy just a crazy thing to happen, and a lot of people lost their life over foolishness. So let me know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. My condolences go out to all these people and their family as well. And keep in mind, guys, this is something that can happen at any time. Who knows? There's a lot of crazy people out there, and that's one of the reasons why we definitely need to have reform when it comes to guns. Not taking guns away, because I'm for owning a gun and being able to protect your family, but having regulation against just going and buying a gun online an eyeball rifle online and not being able to assess these people to see what their background is officially, not just a background check for federal, for cases against, for felony and so forth, but for other shit too as well. Does this person have a mental issue? Is this person have ties with anything else without the government knowing? I mean, there's people that may have ties with people overseas and stuff, and the government doesn't know. These are the things that we need to know as people. But let me know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. I love to hear them. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you guys did, be sure to definitely share it. I don't want to say, to like the videos because you like it, but if you understand where I'm coming from, then yeah, put a like on the video, share the videos if you think you want to enjoy hearing it. And of course, guys, as always, I'm your host, JiraiyaGaming. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.